tons of oxidation from here and a very drippy faucet, which in turn leaves water dripping all down the back side of the sink. Since it's one of those really old ones that have two separate tabs, I'm just gonna cap the dripping one, leave it for now. It's quick, it's fast, it's easy, it's done. This room is high on the list of we're gonna renovate soonish. There's no point in a whole tap feature for a sink that we're not gonna keep. But it's literally dribbling out of this room and onto the carpet of the next floor room over. So it's got to have something happen. Ah, that sink's far now. Okay, that's fun. You gotta respect the people who plumb with hard line. It looks great. I mean, look at that. It looks great. Lasts forever. Pain in the arse to deal with. So hilariously, the caps I bought are either too big or way too small. And doors are all closed and also very too far away to do anything with it. So I am going to opt for a temporary fix so it gets the water back on the house. And that's to use an old tap I have lying around. Make sure to keep it off and just cover the hole. I personally like putting Teflon tape on, but I'll really take this off tomorrow. I'm just tired of stepping on a wet carpet. And that should do it. I'm just going to plug you in. Make sure the other faucet is definitely off. And just turn the water back on. Once again, you guys will have to let me know if she's leaking.
A moment later.
No leaks here. No leaks up top. Water up top. And once the air clears the line, you can still wash your hands. Very carefully. Loosen this nuts. So I can get in there. And hopefully, very compressed and hard washer, so with a little bit of luck, quick replacement job, and I can reuse this tap. Alright, screwdriver, and of course the second I try to take it off, it's not gonna come. Alright, hit it with a little bit of heat, outside, vice grip to see if I can actually get in there, to suck her off, one way or the other. Hit this bad boy with the old torch. The idea is we are heating up the outside, kind of breaking the rust seal. It's not gonna come out easy. Alright, go to the workshop. Worst case scenario, we drill it out and retap. I'm in my workshop with access to most of my tools. Still kind of in the process of moving. Rubber's out of here. It's not exactly decent rubber anymore. Okay, I can just bed that dental pick. You might ask, why am I going through such effort to reuse the tap? Part because it's cheap. I'm not gonna deny that. Part is because I like fixing old things. Part is because I like using old things. If you want to use old things, you gotta fix them. It worked pretty good. Really get right underneath. Pick it out soon. Back at the upstairs sink. See that it's covered in big calcium deposits, or I think this nut's actually corroded away. Like this. So we're gonna start by doing this. Throw down a crappy old towel to catch all the drips. It's obviously staying in the wall. I think it's gonna clean that up. See if we can't open this guy up. Oh, that guy is busted up. The whole thing is seized up. Based on the fact that this wiggles and this doesn't move at all, this doesn't seem to exist. I'm trying to put a whole nut here and it'll just break right off. Hey, got the J-tube out. The important thing is the one that's stuck in the wall was preserved. So let's get this out. Alright, so I'm going to take 2 screwdrivers, stab it in the top because I don't have that kind of wrench. That should hopefully allow me to hold that. Alright, it's coming out. This whole assembly is going to be replaced. That is likely 50 plus years. There's calcium buildup. I mean, just look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but there are threads that start right here, so this pipe gets threaded into the bottom of this, and that's where she snapped, because that's the weakest joint. it's also full of a bunch of nastiness that ain't no one wants to see. And yeah, the shop just got a little bit bigger. So we'll just put this aside till I got the necessary parts, but now I know what I need to do. Alright. So I said this was corroded. I meant you can see how this was a brass washer, and now I can just pull it apart with my hands. And because of that, we're not going to even attempt to reuse this guy. I don't think it's worth it. A little bit of CLR. In the interim, we don't want to waste any time, so I have the old spigot valve from the original one with the rubber removed. I have a bunch of replacement rubbers and screws because the screw was corroded and had to be vice gripped out. So we're just gonna use a sorted pack. Got a bunch of different sizes. We're gonna hope we find one that fits. And I think with a wee bit of persuasion we have. Come on. Half the problem is this guy got damaged during the removal. Might not quite be the size he once was. Well, hello, Sister Cat. Bye, Snickers. Let's try threading this through. I gotta work it in slow. Oh, great. They only give me one of the appropriate screw size. I'm just gonna work it back and forth, get it far enough in. I hope I don't destroy the screw in the process. Thought for a second I could get my hand on my taps. I would just re-tap this hole. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Just see if I can come out of that. Screwdriver to push in the little rubber parts catching. So at least stage one's complete. You can shove a new rubber in there. I'm gonna go get a tap to redo this screw hole. So we know that the rubbers will fit. So let's make it so the screw can fit. Oh, there we go. Nice and easy peasy now. Sometimes you just gotta break down to get the right tool. Make do a lot of times, but sometimes you just gotta have the right stuff. Looks pretty good. We have a nicely seated new stealth seat, though it's a little roughed up, so I might actually swap it out. Nice and table flat. Ready to go back in. And hopefully the packing's still nice and tight, otherwise I get to repack the nut. Alright. And a third and final thing to do with all the water shut off the house is come over here and remove this other valve. Cold one needed to get rebuilt, and the hot one undoubtedly needs to be rebuilt as well. What's really interesting about this to me is that it's threaded into a brass nipple, possibly a black pipe nipple. This is that old. The plumbing here is probably older than my parents. This house has so many issues, so many weird things, and I love every single one of them. I love solving their problems. I love seeing how they did things in ages gone by. I just love this house. Good old Lenore. Okay, I'm gonna need a combi wrench. Oh, I can just do this guy. First, let's get you guys a better view. This is what I mean when I talk about problem solving. I'm going to wrap up this tap in electrical tape so I don't scar it up too badly. I'm going to take this pipe and add a wee bit of leverage here. So now that is not going to move. Like this, the socket broke off the pipe nice and close to the nut on the bottom. My deep socket can just sit right over top, hopefully. Or I can do it so in advance. A large one might even say. And the bugger's hand tight when I get there. Love it. Oh, that's in really good shape. Okay, that's that guy off. Well, still a good idea though. It would have worked. Wasn't necessary, but it would have worked. We take the other side of the Moen tap, hook it up with the existing coupling, tighten it down so the rubber gasket hits the top firmly, creating a nice seal that, as long as no one opens up the top faucet, will prevent any sort of water leaks. Let's get some good resistance there. So let me know if it leaks when I go turn the water on.
A moment later.
All right. bone dry here. I broke down and I bought retrofit valves for these taps. There are valves that screw on here and add the quarter turn shut off. So I no longer have an old tap here blocking the water. Initially, I really wanted to put the original hardware back because it's just so gorgeous. I don't want to make this, and like there's just something about the old school look of when craftsmen actually cared. You could take time as opposed to throw it on, huck on a braided line, and oh, we're done now. But those dreams were all shattered when the other side refused to come off. Probably for the best. You really shouldn't reuse compression fittings. Anyways, let's get that off. Get this on. Also considered resoldering into the wall, like unscrewing this, getting an adapter, screwing it in. General rule in an old house: don't mess with things that aren't broken. And it does have a certain charm to it, but like messing with things that aren't broken is how you run into troubles. That's right. Come shut off. Stabilize the pipe. Get real anal about where you want, how you want the pipe. Shut off framework. Alright. Turn it off so you don't fill the house with water when you activate the stepper later. On to the next side. This is more of the same. Off to avoid leaks. And yeah, one thing you guys will be the first to know that there's leaks or not. It's a bit of water.
A moment later.
As you see, no leaks, no surprises there. I will take this brief moment to spray the epileptic crap out of this here WD-40, because I am fully intending on putting a pop-up drain here and reusing the old hardware so it looks nice. So and I might need to adjust that, so just get the process started while we're going to other things. We got friends and family visiting. Some of them are spending the night, so it's time to get the bathroom sink all hooked up and working again in the bathroom hallway. To prep for that, I'm going to get everything done up prior to starting. So let's get things reassembled. Apply a reasonable amount of dope to these threads. Make sure stay out from the inside. Reattach the top for a rebuilt tap. Crank it on down. Clean up a little bit of mineral spirits. There we go. And hopefully that is now drip free. We'll find out later. Take that dope and reattach the down pipe for the drain. Works best if you put it on the right side. Hang tight. Yeah, I heard something drop. And it was this part of the assembly. This is exposed, so we're gonna quick wipe, looking nice and pretty. Now this, we're not gonna dope this. We'll get silicone in a second, so that would be redundant. Oh, no. Varsol. Okay. Tailpipe assembly is ready. This is prepped. I've cut my silicone already. So we are ready for assembly. Got the drain all cleaned up from all the leftover silicone from the last time. Feels weirdly slimy. I'm just taking a little bit of isopropanol and cut away whatever grease happens to be there. They're saying on our washer, I don't know what it's called. I guess we're at that point where there's nothing to it but to do it. I have clear silicone, therefore I'm using clear silicone. You can use plumber's putty. You can use white silicone. You can make a right ready mess of all this, like I'm doing. Just make sure you get a nice continuous bead. Washer on top, down. And not actually have to realize silicone in there. Maybe I'll get lucky and catch the threads on this. There's some difficulty getting the brass nut started on the heads down here. Restarted it apparently. That would have been a smart move. I just love working in tight spaces. Now, here's what it is. Nope. Complaining about it. Let's bring you guys down here. Now I get to fight the distinct lack of spacing down here. Use this bit of pipe, kind of acts as a hold for that. Locks. I don't have a choice. I have to pop this off. The little brass guy is not going on. I'm gonna have a fight. After the whole reset. Yay! Got rid of one washer to give myself a bit of slack. Hopefully it's enough. I do actually love challenges and figuring out how to make things work. Occasionally, I wouldn't say no to an easy one. Just every once in a while. No. Where's the fun in that? Get this cleaned up again. Given the large spacing around, we're gonna go with the apply to the sink, not the flange. Again, I am homeowner. I am not concerned about making the most bang for my buck. I only wanted this once. If I have to pay an extra like 50 cents in material costs, it's cost well spent. That should work. Apparently I have one shot of the first one and I loved it. Doesn't help that there's a splashed seam here. It's quite painful on your fingers. Don't worry, I promise it will look a lot better when I'm done. I warn you about not over tightening, but considering how I can barely get a wrench on this, I don't think that's a particular concern of mine. Okay, that's not tight enough. Now before things cure too much, as you can see, it looks like arse. Pure, simple, it's not great. I'm not gonna claim that that's anything better than that. But with a little bit of extra work that a professional wouldn't need to do, it can be made to look great. There we go. Nice, clean, shiny, no residue, looking good. You see a bit of a white ring in there, but I'm gonna magic trick for that. Oh, look, gone. At the top of the drain, let's go back down to the bottom. Just slap on the U-joint, the P-trap, before I do anything else. Just gonna tap up here, and right on this plastic jobby, nice and hand tight. All right, all left is the flex hose, and we let it dry, and we have a sink. This is just easier. It's redundant, so I'm not going to bother double layering. Pretty tight to me. Take me long to do a clean job, but still be there in the end. Now to do a blind tighten. You know what? I have to go over this in my car. The guy gave me this a while back. It is a great little wrench, handy little tool for when you do nonsense like this. I think it's great. To give you guys a preview of how rotted and rusted the old one was. Like this ring here, I broke it apart with my hands. Can't break the last part apart with my hands, but I believe the pipe is long enough so not to have an extender in this one. So we'll get to see. Thing's probably 30 years old. Alright, now it's time for the moment of truth. I may have read it already. It's pretty good.